Hey everyone, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in to Relevant Jukebox, and today we're going to talk about the latest mixtape from FKA Twigs, Caprisongs. So it's actually been a little while since we've heard from Twigs, and truth be told, she doesn't really release music too often. And this project is labeled as a mixtape, and coming from an artist as established as Twigs is, that usually signals for flag of caution. Because most of the time, I feel like artists like this far into their career, releasing a project labeled as a mixtape just tells me there's a lack of confidence behind the track list, or we're not really getting the fully developed sound in a new direction of some sort, or the last release was just slapping so hard, here's a bunch of leftovers that didn't make it. Caprisongs does represent a pretty big shift in tone and pop appeal in Twigs' music overall, at least compared to like the extremely emotionally heavy Magdalene or the alien R&B sounds that came out of LP1. And to my surprise, there's actually somewhat of a hyperpop influence running through the track list here, at least in a lot of the production aesthetics, but also the vocals as well. But you know, listening to this mixtape is like getting ready to go out on a date with someone that you're really excited for, you've been talking for a little while, and you sit down to dinner and they start asking you questions about what your horoscope is and your sign, and then they go and base every single part of your personality around it and the conversations and stories that you're telling, and you just sit there like, oh, this was a mistake. Because yeah, I don't know, I think this might be the weakest project that Twigs has released to date. I found the production on here to just be pretty lackluster and a lot less left field than what we're accustomed to from an FKA Twigs project, and to my ears ended up just coming off like a watered down blend of hyperpop and R&B. Now, I'm not saying here that like all hyperpop has to be super weird and strange to be appealing, because that's certainly not the case, but like this tape feels like it could have dropped in 2014, and LP1 could have dropped in 2022, and that would have still sounded refreshing. And on top of that, I mean, I found Twigs' vocals on here to be pretty off-putting at times as well, and come off sort of awkward even. I mean, just take the track Light Beamers, for example, how there are multiple verses on there where she kind of speeds up her vocals and they get pitched up really high, and man, it just kind of just removes me from any sort of vibe that wasn't really already there. Or how she just like mumbles her way through the reverb-soaked chorus of Which Way, which is a track overall I feel like doesn't fit within the track list. And I also think one of her worst tracks to date lands on this project with Oh My Love. The beat is just coma-inducing overall and just has such a lack of any sort of flair or vibe to it and progression. And I don't know, if I'm being honest, I mean, it's one of her worst vocal performances as well. I mean, the chorus is just so repetitive and weak. Now, there are also some interesting features that show up in the track list as well that I thought would really enhance the qualities of the songs, but none of them really stick out to me either. You have The Weeknd that shows up on Tears in the Club, which granted is probably the best track in the mix here, but I don't really prefer how they kind of like slab some effects on his voice. I mean, when he initially came in, I actually didn't recognize it was him. Also, Shy Girl pops up on the track Poppy Bones, I think. I mean, she comes in for like under 10 seconds and exits the track as if she didn't already need to be there in the first place. It's kind of like just a name grab, it feels like. Also, there's a vocal feature from an artist, Rima, that shows up on the track Jealousy that I found to be pretty repetitive, but also very off-putting at the same time. So yeah, I mean, I just really didn't connect with this mixtape, unfortunately. The production is just really lackluster and actually gets worse as the tape goes on. Also, this entire mixtape is just littered with all of these really dramatic vocal snippets that just are one too many. And what was sort of even more surprising for me was that the lack in the production department wasn't made up for with really compelling vocal performances like what showed up on Magdalene. I mean, for the most part, it sounds like Twigs is recycling and riffing off of older vocal ideas that showed up in the past. I mean, I feel like I heard the start of 2 weeks on here a couple times. But with that being said, I'm feeling a 4 over here on Caprisongs. So for all you collectors out there has not been a vinyl release of this yet, but over on Twigs' website, there were a few different variants of cassettes available if you wanted to scoop one. And if you have heard this new Twigs mixtape already, what did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and share, and if you want more content from me, hit that subscribe button. Peace.